Hi, my name's Senga Lindsay. Happy Easter, everyone. I'm here in my bunny suit today, which is actually an apiarist suit, because today we're going to be hiving our 2 beehives on our edible green roof here in sunny North Vancouver. Our bees were just picked up from our local bee supplier. They just flew in from New Zealand 2 days ago, so they're a little bit stressed, so we're going to try and get them into our hives as soon as possible. Here is the actual brood chamber here, where I will be putting the bees in shortly. And these are what they call frames with foundations on them. Actually, this is an already pre-made drawn comb from a previous colony of bees. We're going to be using some of those, as well as some brand new frames. The reason being is that when we introduce our bees, they have no place to store their honey and start raising brood. So this makes life a little bit easier for them when they first enter the hive. They don't have to spend all that extra energy making honeycomb right away. We have one frame that's empty here, or it's emptied, and we've put in what we call a frame feeder. And as you can see, it's actually a sugar water mix with a floating piece of wood. What happens is when the bees, this time of year, they don't have enough nectar and pollen around the area, so we need to supplement their feeding with some carbohydrates. This is a very simple sugar and water mix because our bees have traveled a long distance. We're doing about 30% sugar, granulated sugar, dissolved in about 70% water. The other piece of equipment that we have is called this inner cover, and what will happen is once we hive our bees, put the queen and the colony in, we'll put this cover on top to in essence seal them in. The other last piece of this puzzle is we have a hive cover at the end, and that will end up going on top of our inner cover. Now the reason for the inner cover is there is some slots in there that will provide ventilation for the hive for when the days start to get long and hot. This is about 3.3 pounds of bees, which is the equivalent of about 9 to 10,000 bees in this colony. By 2 or 3 months from now, this colony will grow to about 50 to 60,000 bees per hive. So what happens here is where the green mesh is, the queen is actually in her own little separate cage in this tube. There's also a sugar water or sugar syrup mix in the tube as well that's kept the bees fed for their long journey. So what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to take off the top lid, remove the queen, put her in the hive, and then shake out the bees. Sounds simple, so we'll see how it goes. So just to be on the safe side, we're going to light our smoker. And what you do is you take a bunch of dried grass, moss, sawdust, anything that will obviously create smoke. Take a piece of paper, we'll light it. Get her going. Drop her in the smoker. Let her go a little bit, and then hopefully away we go. First of all, because I am actually quite allergic to bees, I do have the ever handy EpiPen here, as well as a full bee suit here with a zip-up hood, my trusty gloves. The thing you have to do is give it a good shake, dump your bees down at the bottom, and of course they're going to be a little bit ticked. Here she is. There's the queen. take our little, as you can see, here's the queen in her little box. We're going to brush off We're going to give the queen a little bit of a shot of sugar water. So what we have to do is we have to be very quick about this. We have to pull the plug after we put the cage right side down into the hive. The reason we have to do this is we don't want our queen to fly away, because if it does, our bees will all go with her and we'll have no beehive. I've got a sticky honeycomb frame here that I'm going to stick this cage to for the bee, for the queen. And I'm going to knock her down a little bit so she doesn't discover that hole. Put the frame very close to encapsulate her there. I'm going to take off. As you can see, it's quite cold, so the bees are actually quite docile today. I'm going to take the lid off, give her a good shake, and dump the rest of the bees in here. Now they're already going to smell the queen, so they're going to be gravitating into the hive already. So, take off the lid. Very carefully. And give the bees a good dumping. There you go. This is where we act quickly now. Put our rest of our frames in. We'll take the pollen patty, which is a protein patty of pollen and water and sugar. And there's holes. And what we'll do is we'll lay the pollen patty over on top of the hive. The bees will come up and feed from the hive. For now, we want our bees to stay in the hive for about 24 hours. So we're going to block all entrances outwards just so that they get used to the queen, they get used to their home, the whole 9 yards. But if we have any residual bees, which I don't think we do, well, we do actually, we'll just stick them at the entranceway here, and they'll find their way out of the tube and into the hole. There's a big long slot here that they have to defend right now from wasps and other things. So by putting in this little bee reducer, like so, we'll give them just a little hole to go in and out, and then they can defend their home against any invaders. Final step, our top cover with the metal. And basically all that does is protect the hive against water, dampness, and it also, this will heat up in the summertime. That will help heat up and keep the beehive warm. And if I really want to chase them in, this is what to do. We now have 2 beehives. So in about 4 days' time, we'll go and check the hive, see if they are indeed adapting okay to their new home, if they're eating the pollen patty. And if you'd like more information on our website, www.sengadesigns.com. Also see our blog. We'll be posting regularly how our edible green roof's doing, how our sustainable gardens are doing, and also how our bees are progressing throughout the summer. Thanks for watching.